The way you're studying for the SHRM exam might be the problem. If you've been studying hard but still feel unsure when the answer choices get close, the issue may not be how much you're studying, it may be how you're studying. I also want to be upfront with you. My personal exam experience is with the SHRM-SCP, not the SHRM-CP. So while I can't speak to every detail of the CP exam specifically, the pattern I'm describing showed up clearly in my own preparation, and I hear it from candidates at both levels. And in this video, I want to show you exactly what I mean using a realistic HR scenario. Because the SHRM exam is not just testing what you remember, it's also testing how you think. So let's imagine a situation like this. Let's imagine you're an HR professional at a mid-sized company. Two employees from the same team approach you on separate occasions. Both say their supervisor has been making demeaning comments during team meetings. Things like dismissing their ideas in front of others, making jokes at their expense, and telling one employee she was being too emotional when she raised a concern. Neither employee has submitted anything in writing. Both ask HR to keep the conversation confidential. And here's what makes the situation a little more complicated. That supervisor is a high performer and well liked by senior leadership. Now imagine these are your answer choices. Option A, honor the employee's request for confidentiality and take no action for now. Option B, immediately suspend the supervisor while HR investigates. Option C, document the complaints, explain that full confidentiality cannot be guaranteed, and begin a preliminary review. Option D, take the issue directly to senior leadership and let them decide how to proceed. Take a second and think about it. What would you choose? Before I even start evaluating the options, here's the question I want to ask. What is this scenario really testing? Because this is where stronger SHRM preparation starts. This scenario isn't just about remembering a definition. It's about understanding several HR principles at the same time. Things like HR's responsibility when there may be harassment or inappropriate conduct, the limits of confidentiality, the need for an appropriate review process, and how HR navigates situations when the person involved is a high performer. Strong candidates don't start with the answer choices. They start by asking, what concept is actually being tested here? Option A might sound supportive because it respects the employee's request for confidentiality, but it's actually the weakest option. If there's a potential harassment or hostile work environment concern, HR can't simply do nothing. Option B goes too far too quickly. At this point, HR has concerns, but not enough information to justify immediate suspension. Option D also isn't the strongest response. It sends the issue to leadership too early and takes HR out of the role it should be playing in the process. That leaves option C. Option C is the strongest response because it documents the concerns, sets realistic expectations around confidentiality, and begins a review process in a balanced and appropriate way. Now, here's why this matters for how you study. What we just did was not memorization. We didn't just recall a definition. We looked at a situation, identified what HR concept was being tested, and compared the options based on that understanding. That's a much more effective way to prepare. So here's a simple study method you can try. When you finish reviewing a concept, first, close the book and explain it in your own words. If you can't explain it simply, you probably need a little more time with it. Second, place it into a workplace situation. Ask yourself where this concept would actually show up on the job. Third, compare possible responses and ask, why is one answer stronger than the others? That's how you start building judgment. And judgment is what helps when the answer choices feel close. This approach works for both exams. For the SHRM-CP, you're showing that you can apply HR knowledge appropriately in realistic workplace situations. For the SHRM-SCP, the thinking often goes one step further. You might also ask, Why did these employees feel they needed confidentiality before reporting their supervisor? What does that say about trust or leadership culture? Is this only an individual issue, or does it reflect something broader in the organization? Same principle, just a deeper level of analysis. So the next time you study, don't just read the concept and move on. Pause and work with it a little more deeply. Explain it. Put it into a situation. Compare the responses. That small shift can make your study time much more effective. Are you preparing for the SHRM-CP or SHRM-SCP right now? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to know where you are in your journey. And if you found this helpful, subscribe to AI HR Studios for more SHRM exam notes every Tuesday. I'll see you in the next one.